18 months ago, I bought Ginger, a 1973 Cessna 172 that was owned and flown by a sweet little lady for the past 34 years. She literally used Ginger to fly to the nearest big city to get groceries. I love that. At nearly 50 years old, with 2,600 hours on the airframe, Ginger flew and looked pretty good. Until you walked up to within 10 feet and saw patches of oxidized paint and overspray from a hangar paint job about 12 years ago. Cosmetically, the paint had seen better days, but it was all there and very well applied. So I did my research and called Aviana Aircraft Detailing. Over a 2-day period, Mehrdad put in about 30 hours correcting the paint and ceramic coating every exterior surface. The end result is simply spectacular.
One of the big issues with this paint is, you hear that?
Yeah.
I suspect that's all overspray. So I think when this was painted, you can see it on my hands, it's orange paint. When this was painted, it was painted in sections. So the base coat was put on, then something else got painted and more paint landed on it and kind of formed this texture. You can see the difference back here. This is dull and kind of noisy. This is also kind of noisy, but it's not as dull. So I suspect this, along with that panel there, actually, that's also a good difference. They were painted elsewhere, so they didn't have all that overspray land on them. So what I'm trying to do is abrade away as much of that overspray as I can to make this match that, especially that panel up there. So that's kind of the goal here with paint correction.
And I would have to say, I think Mehrdad hit all of his goals. It's really not until you look closely at the horizontal stabilizer that you really begin to realize the extent of the paint's oxidation. Adding to that was some overspray from the previous paint job. This before and after really shows how far the paint has come.
The other thing I'm doing is I'm using a primer that's stuffing. So this paint's quite porous because it's not clear coated. So I'm using a primer that is stuffing little silica, little ceramic particles into the paint matrix as well. And then we coat on top of that. So it's in the old school way, that would be called a glaze. Glazes are very oily polishes that just stuff the paint with oil. Of course, that washes out over time, then your paint looks dull again, but that's how they used to make stuff shiny. We're using a silica primer that really stuffs those pores with quartz. Then when we ceramic coat on top of it, it gives us a little bit more gloss.
It's the next morning and a lot of progress has already been made. Before I get started, a very special thanks to my good friend Sven for graciously allowing us to work here in his warm and comfy hangar. And also, in case you hadn't noticed, that's a brand new 2022 Cessna 172S Skyhawk SP you see there on the left. This aircraft will be featured in an upcoming Ginger the Plane video. If you're curious, you can also check it out at Juan Brown's Blanca Lirio channel. I'll put a link in the description. I'll also be doing an in-depth review of that gorgeous Cessna 206 on floats in a future video. Let's get back to Ginger. Mehrdad is ready to begin tackling the wings. The entire airframe has been sealed in the G-Technique Crystal Serum Ultra ceramic coating process. It looks absolutely amazing, and this is going to protect Ginger's paint for many, many years to come. If your paint is faded and oxidized, consider hiring a professional detailer. It's not cheap, but I'd rather do that before spending 20 grand or more on a new paint job.
Ginger is done. There was a lot of overspray on this plane. There's oxidation too, which I expected. I wasn't expecting the overspray. The tops of the wings especially, it looked like it had yellowed and faded from sun exposure, but actually I think it was just orange overspray. You can see in the before and afters, once I removed that, there was good silver paint under there. Very happy with how it turned out. Coated everything so it's easy to clean now. It's protected against UV exposure, bugs, that kind of stuff. So I'm excited to see Ginger in air and see how it looks.
Look at Ginger. Wow. I can't believe it's really her. I'd like to extend a huge thanks and appreciation to Mehrdad for coming all the way out to the Pacific Northwest from Iowa in the winter to put his incredible knowledge and expertise to work, transforming Ginger's paint from ramp average to near new shine. I did my research, and Aviana Aircraft Detailing is by far the best service provider available to both GA and corporate owners and operators out there. I highly recommend them and greatly appreciate all the work Mehrdad put into Ginger. Thank you for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, please subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment. Thanks, and I'll see you out there.